Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing? Chris Rod, Sun City Lawn Care. We are back in the YouTube channel, making another video for you guys. Today we're in the front yard. Obviously, I got rocks in my front yard, as does most of West Texas, or especially here in El Paso, where we try to implement, or the city likes us then to implement a little bit of xeriscape, if you will. But here's one of the problems that we have within the city and with front rock landscaping is all of this right here. Obviously we got rocks, but where the rock, underneath the rock, there's the black plastic. Sometimes it's some sort of weed barrier, but right where the rock meets any kind of patio or sidewalk, same thing with our driveways, the cracks and the crevices there's always these weeds that sprout, and this is a huge problem within the city, okay? And you can let them go, which I have done specifically for this video. I have not made a weed killer video, a non-selective weed killer video in a couple years, and I wanted to give you guys an updated video on how to kill weeds as fast as freaking possible inside of rock bed landscaping, okay? I'm also going to be treating a couple weeds. As you guys can see back me, I've got a couple of my fruit trees there. We're going to go ahead and treat those as well, some weeds that are surrounding the mulch bed, okay? But we got two different herbicides we're going to be using that I'm going to show you, and one of them states that it can kill weeds as fast as 15 minutes. So let's say, for example, you get home and there's a notification from the city of El Paso and you guys are freaking out because now you got to kill some weeds, or you guys got to get out there and pull them. So I'm going to show you two different products that you guys can use. Some of it you can actually get at the big box store here, Home Depot or Lowe's, for example. They've also got products at the East Side Nursery. Usually your nurseries carry products, but today show you two different products, and let's start killing some weeds. Let's talk about the weeds real quick. All right, so we got a couple different weeds we're going to be targeting here. Look at this little guy. It looks like a little bit of a, I don't even know what that is, but this sucker right here. Every year I see this one, or actually every other year, because I think it's a biannual weed, because I don't see it every year. But this is, well, it's a form of a mustard weed. I call it yellow mustard weed. So that yellow mustard weed also you could refer to it as London rocket. But this just shoots up. It's on a single stalk, but it'll start branching off and producing more clusters of this weed. And if you let it, I have seen this weed grow probably 5-6 feet tall. Okay, right now I've got some that are 3 inches, I've got some that are 5 inches, I got another one maybe pushing 8 inches here. But we're gonna go ahead and smoke this stuff today. Let's take a look right here. We got a little plantain, and then there's some more of that London rocket, and then right here these are actually sunflowers that are popping up. We've had sunflowers that sporadically grow, and we don't want to kill them. We got a Texas sage that I transplanted, so we're going to show you how to spray some weeds without affecting a good tree or a good shrub. All right, guys, so we're going to dive into this real quick. We're going to spray some weeds because it's weed killing time, and before I get a notice from the city, I'd rather treat these weeds and avoid that whole thing. So let's talk about the products we're going to be using today. One, we're going to start off with Glypho-sel. Okay, Glypho-sel Pro. It's essentially a glyphosate product that contains 41% of glyphosate inside of it. And then it makes it a Cell Pro because they've added a surfactant to it. Surfactant is simply, you know, for the DIYers, a little baby shampoo. You just put it in your pump sprayer, your hand can there, and you give it a good shake. And what it does as a surfactant is it helps break down the water molecule, and then helps it stick to the weed, the undesired plant that you want to kill, so that you have more efficacy when you're trying to actually kill this weed. So I do already have a mixture ready. Okay, this is simply a 2-gallon pump sprayer. It's battery operated. All I gotta do is push a button and it sucks all that air and gets it ready, gets it pressurized. Now inside here, I usually roll with about 2 gallons in the truck when I'm out and about doing what I need to do. And if we come across some weeds, undesired weeds inside of our rock landscaping for our clients, we spray them out as we go. Again, that's glyphosate. If you are shopping at the big box store, what you need to pay attention to when you're looking at all this big old giant wall of herbicides, you're looking for a non-selective when you're trying to kill weeds in rock beds, a non-selective where it says maybe a weed and grass killer, okay? Again, this is for rock bed or xeriscape landscape areas when you don't want any grass, you don't want any weeds, you don't want anything growing. Non-selective will decimate everything in its path. The active ingredient is what I want you to focus in on. You want to find one that says, you know, maybe 20, 30, 41%. If you can get one that says 50%, you're golden. Do not buy, don't waste your money on them big old boxes of off that have 2% active ingredient. You'll be out there spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying. It's a waste of time. Get one that says 41% if you can find it, okay? You can order this stuff online as well. So that's product A, and what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna spray the yard real quick, and here's how we're gonna separate. We're gonna do our little test trial here. The weeds along the rock bed and the sidewalk, we're gonna treat with our Glypho-sel Pro, the 41% active ingredient. Let me get my PPE on. PPE, hats, gloves, glasses, long sleeves, boots, shirts, socks, the whole bang, you know? All right, guys, so we got that first trim pass. We did a little bit of a spot treatment and kind of a blanket spray. If you got these sporadic weeds, you don't have to do a blanket spray, like literally coating everything. A little spot treatment here. If you got that one weed, I recommend you just pull the one weed out. But if you got a row of weeds, it is a little easier to get a hand can, pump sprayer, and just move it along. Let's talk about this second herbicide, okay? This is Mirimichi Green, okay? It's a product by Mirimichi, oops, sorry about the shaking. Mirimichi Green there. This is a weed control for organic production, okay? This is OMRI listed as well. They come in 2 different varieties. You get a little spray bottle like this, or you can get a larger dose of concentrate that you're going to mix with water, okay? This one right here, you don't have to mix with water. If you want a smaller version, just so you know you're budgeting, right, and you just need a couple weeds that you're trying to kill, go ahead and get this smaller one. This stuff is not cheap, okay? But the reason why it's not cheap is because it works incredibly well. I have used this product before. I have used some other organic products, matter of fact. So some of the additional products that you guys can get yourselves at the big box stores, because the Mirimichi Green, you do have to order that one online, and I encourage you to do some price shopping. But I'm a huge fan of Bio Advance. I've been preaching this one for years. Bio Advance Weed and Grass Killer. This one is actually OMRI listed as well, and it is an organic brand, ammoniated fatty acids. That's what we're talking about. This is why this stuff works so well, okay? Then you've got another product here. This is Dead Weed Brew by Captain Jack's. This one is not OMRI listed. However, it's got a caprylic acid, okay? So different kind of active ingredients. I encourage you to look and do the research on which maybe is more affordable in your budget or which one you would prefer to use, okay? OMRI, kind of organic, you know, if you're dealing with gardening areas. I don't use any herbicides on my garden beds or anything or anywhere near that area. Today we're simply talking about xeriscapes and landscape areas. This one you can get, you can go drive down the store and pick it up right away. The Mirimichi products, okay, you do have to order these. Today we are going to be using this one because we have a few weeds we're just going to spot treat. We're going to see what that 15 minutes results in. 15 minutes, we're going to hold it to its name, and I'm I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more about the actual concentration, okay? When you are buying this product, okay, you've got probably a massive amount of weeds to kill. You need to make sure you always peel back these little labels and read how to mix this product, okay? This is not something that you can just pour onto the ground, okay? That's not how this works, because again, these concentrates you dilute with water, okay? And the way that you dilute that is you get your hand can sprayer ready, you fill it halfway, whether you're gonna be spraying a gallon or 2 gallons, fill it halfway, and then as per instructions, you need to determine the size of weeds that you have, okay? Because that's gonna determine how much of the concentrate you're actually going to mix with your water. So for example, if you've got weeds that are 1 inch, okay, they've got these ranges, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches or more, determines the percent of active ingredient that you're going to dilute in the pump sprayer with water. So they start off with weeds that are 1 inch in height. You mix 8 ounces per gallon, all right? Now, if you've got weeds that are 2 inches in height, you go to the next phase or next range, which ranges from, I believe it's 8 to 10% of concentration, which determines whether you're gonna use 10 ounces or 13 ounces. And then you've got the next height of weed where it's 3 inches in height or more. Then we start getting into the 13 to 15% of concentration. Now, this product does have a maximum. You cannot utilize more than 15% of the active ingredient per gallon, okay, per use, all right? So you don't wanna overdo it, you don't need to underdo it, and trust me when I say this product, a little bit goes a long way, guys. All right, so obviously first thing we wanna do is make sure we identify the weeds, which we have, okay? This London Rocket, or AKA yellow mustard weed, we're gonna be targeting, along with a few broadleaf weeds as well, okay? Once you identify the weeds, determine which herbicide you're gonna be using, and then mix your herbicide accordingly. Now again, we're just using this one because I wanna show you the simplicity of what you guys can actually buy. And if you do have to mix it in your pump sprayer, just make sure you measure it out, mix it well, and then get to spraying. So let's go ahead and give you guys a walkthrough on how we're gonna spray these weeds. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and start spraying this particular area. Again, this was the glyphosate area, and then right here along the path, the walk path, and this little sand pit here where we actually grow flowers, we're gonna go ahead and spray with the Mirimichi Weed and Grass Killer. Stand back. All right, as soon as you get ready, what I like to do today, we're gonna be marking the time. It's 12:36. And we're gonna give these all a good little dousing, and you will see some foaming on as you spray these weeds. See that? That's what we're looking for. Now, what I do have it on as I'm spraying, I have it on this broad spray mist, if you will, this selection up here on the top. You can also put it on more of a stream, kind of a jet line stream. And you guys can see I'm wearing gloves because look at what's happening. It's already kind of leaking out of the nozzle there. And I did mention it was 12:36, so we're gonna pay attention to this time and see if it does take effect or have results in 15 minutes. Let me spray these weeds and we'll continue. All right, so now I'm gonna show you real quick, easy method to go ahead and spraying weeds around a desired plant that you actually don't wanna kill. It's simply, you take your herbicide and a piece of cardboard box. Put one between the other and you just start spraying away, okay? Especially, you're not gonna be spraying on a windy day, you shouldn't anyways, but this just gives you that extra protection. All right, guys, so it's really simple to do. We're gonna give it some time. We're about halfway through that 15-minute window to see if we actually get any residual results from the Mirimichi herbicide spray, okay? Outside of that, the last thing I wanted to point out was, in addition to killing actively growing weeds, one of the key fundamental aspects of lawn maintenance or weed prevention are pre-emergent applications. And our previous video, we talked about spraying the yard, the lawn areas for or with pre-emergent. Okay, you can also tackle what I like to do, and I know there's some other companies out there, some big name companies out there, that blanket spray back and forth the whole freaking rock bed area. Usually if you're driving up and down the streets within the cities, you're going to see some blue colored rocks or landscaping. The blue is just simply a dye it's a marking dye. But what they've been spraying is a pre-emergent. That's a weed preventative. What we like to do, instead of just blanket spraying the crap out of everything and getting really crazy with this herbicide, we try to minimalize it. So we will spray the cracks and crevices like you see here, where the black plastic meets the concrete, and there's a gap right between the two where these weeds just somehow every year, every time find their way through the weed barrier and the rocks. Okay, so we just apply pre-emergent through or to the cracks. Okay, and what you can also do is apply it to a lot of the cracks and crevices of any kind of driveway. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but there's some yellowing along this line right here. Okay, there's some yellowing there. I'm gonna show you a little bit more where I think it's more evident. Probably right there you can see some yellowing. Okay, the yellowing is simply from the pre-emergent, because that's the color of the prodiamine product. It gives a little nice yellow color. Now, if you want to use a marking dye, by all means, go ahead, but I tend not to use marking dye. I don't like the way the color looks. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'll follow up in a few minutes and show you an update on see if we get any kind of residual from that Mirimichi. All right, y'all, it's been 15 minutes, and let's see if we notice anything, any kind of chlorosis. Anything yet, guys? Oop. I think what we're seeing is a little bit of browning right there. And anything else? I don't see much going on right now. Actually, you know what I am noticing? This right here. The weed is tilting over, so it's almost, see how this one's leaning? I'm gonna bet you if I just stood here and wait, it'll just keep flopping over. All right, let's follow up. We'll give it another 15 minutes, see if we see a difference. All right, so we're back out here. It's another 15 minutes later. Let's see what we see. All right, again, if you're just tuning in, we sprayed all these weeds right here along with the Glypho-sel Pro, and then we've got weeds on this side that we sprayed with our Mirimichi, along with the weeds up along this walk path with Mirimichi as well. So let's zoom in and see what we find, guys. This one still looks upright. Same thing over here, but that guy right there, see that chlorosis on that leaf? That is the browning or the wilting of what we're looking for. Oh gosh, look at this freaking crabgrass looking thing. See the yellowing? That's the chlorosis or the browning that we are going to first start to experience after spraying Mirimichi. And the same thing, remember this guy right here? I told you what I had noticed what was happening is that it's starting to tilt over. That's what it's doing. So it's dying, and this is 30 minutes later, guys. Look at all that browning under there. See all those leaves? So the stalk, we're probably not gonna see much of a effect other than it tipping over, but the browning and the chlorosis on the broad leaf aspect of it is definitely noticeable. Same thing here. What I do want to point out is some more of this browning, okay? This is a taller one. This weed's probably 2.5 feet tall or so, anywhere from 12 to 18 inches. Okay, so when you get to the taller weeds and you're trying to kill these weeds, you're going to see the browning. And as you notice on the sides of the leaf here, look at that browning effect, okay? That is the plant absorbing that solution, okay, that herbicide, and it's going to, you're going to start to see the chlorosis, experience the discoloration of the weeds. The thing to remember is that when you spray these weeds, depending on the type of weed, they may not all just fall down and flop over. You'll start to see the wilting of the weed as long as that stalk is still there. So what I recommend you do is if you got these taller weeds, go ahead and pull them out. Grab it from the base of the weed and get that root system out. Or take your trimmer, your head trimmer, or not your head trimmer, your string trimmer, your weed whacker, if you will, and give them a good cutting down to that 1 inch, that manageable height to spray. Keep in mind that whatever type of weed it is, you need some leaf tissue in order to absorb and soak up that herbicide to drive it down into the root system and kill the weed inevitably. All right, so we're just gonna monitor these weeds. I'm not gonna come out here every 15 minutes and give you guys an update, but I'm gonna post some pictures. I'm gonna come back maybe later this afternoon before the sun goes completely down, or what lack of sun we have today, and I give you guys an update. Or when I come out tomorrow morning, I'll add some footage to this this particular video just to show you guys the overnight process and how fast this stuff actually works. So what you can do, and again, this is for my El Pasoans, because I'm local here in El Paso, but if you guys are anywhere else in the world or throughout the US and you guys are looking for a quick organic non-selective herbicide to decimate everything, to kill everything, excuse me, check out some of those OMRI listed bio advanced products, okay, that will kill weeds and grass. Or check out the Mirimichi line, okay? They got some really good products in regards to killing weeds, which is what this video is about. I don't want to take too much of more of your time, but get something and stop these weeds from growing before they start to flower or become more problematic in your area. Y'all have a great one. Stay tuned for your follow-up videos. We got lawn care season right around the way, baby. Have a good one. All right, good morning, guys. So yesterday we shot that video, which I'm going to be posting today, but I wanted to give you an update again. The difference between that Glypho-sel application we did on this side of the rock beds versus the organic Mirimichi herbicide, non-selective application we did on this side. So again, we're just going to zoom into these and look how toast this stuff is. These weeds, they're wilted. Toast. Look at that. This guy's a goner. And like I was explaining to you yesterday, these stalks, they'll probably still be upright, but it's the leaves that we want to definitely have soak in that herbicide. But in my opinion, these are just dead weeds now, and they'll start to slowly wither away, and you can almost not even see the weeds over here. Now, when you compare it to the glyphosate application, these weeds are still very visible. They're still upright, and there's very to almost zero chlorosis on those leaves right now. Let's take one more look over here on the far side. Oh gosh, look at this guy. That is a dead weed, and it'll just start to flake away. Yeah, these guys are done. See how wilted that is? Woo! So again, that's just 24 hours. Does the Mirimichi work fast? It does. Do you see a total kill and no more weed in 15 minutes? That's a little questionable. It might be different if I had mixed with the concentrate at a higher concentrated solution, another amount of ounces per gallon, as opposed to the little spray bottle that I use. There might be a difference there, but we can definitely see a difference between the Glypho-sel or glyphosate application and then the Mirimichi application. Y'all pick your poisons accordingly, but I hope this video helps you guys out. If you have any questions about herbicides, non-selectives, or even selectives inside of rock bed areas or lawn areas, go ahead and leave a comment below, and we'll get back to them as soon as we can. Check you guys later.